What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another late night in the BrewLab with me, Lone Fox, your brewmaster in chief. And tonight, in the BrewLab, I'm coming at you with a couple or maybe three Selesnya tokens decks, or at least Selesnya decks, because it's a brave new world. The Meathook Massacre has been banned. The effective date on Arena was today, and Wizards was smart enough to give us back our mythic wildcards. I can only imagine the uproar Twitter would have been in if they hadn't. But we got our wildcards back, and, let's see. The question that I'd like to pose for tonight's video is, was it really that impactful, this ban? Is the meta going to shift as much as I hope that it will? Now that we've just lost one Black Sweeper. Yes, it was a very strong card. Yes, it was completely busted, but is it really going to change the whole meta game? I think I already know the answer to that question, because I've spent the last 3 days playing these brews in unranked, and I feel like a lot of other people were doing the same thing, kind of getting ready for the Meathook being banned. And I've seen a lot of people testing very similar brews to what I have, and I've also seen a lot of people that are trying to potentially prepare for these types of brews coming, finding alternatives to the Meathook. So like plenty more depopulates, loads more paths of perils. It's not as if there's no sweepers in standard, guys. But anyway, the question is it going to be a whole new meta, or things going to stay pretty much the same? So without further ado, let's jump into tonight's brews. I've got 3 different Selesnya brews lined up. That was my first sort of, okay, Meathook's going Selesnya tokens, Selesnya weenies, Selesnya aggro, and they do feel pretty explosive. I've just run into the problem with mana, because there isn't a pain land in these colors. So anyway, I'm going to showcase them for you guys anyway, and I think if we get any sort of decent win rates and good performance now with them before the arrival of the pain lands in a little bit over a month in November 15th, when the new set drops, then when we do, then they're definitely going to get a lot better. So we'll start off with Selesnya tokens, and I think the video is going to mostly focus around this, and then I might just show you. I don't know if I wanted to make this into a whole episode of brewing with, but I might just show you these two, and then if they look good to you, you can let me know in the comments whether you'd like a full video for each one. But without further ado, let's jump into tonight's brew. Selesnya tokens. Pretty nice. There's definitely something to it, but as I said in the intro, the lands feel a bit wonky. Blossoming Sands entering battlefield tapped is really not that great. So I've put in a couple of Thran portals, but it's not great. The Pain Land would make this a lot better. We stake in it from the top with 3 copies of Tamiyo Safekeeping, which I think is one of the cards that has benefited the most from the Meathook Massacre being banned, because the -X type of sweepers get around indestructible and hexproof, but now there's only really drag to the bottom, and you need to be very invested in a domain archetype to be running that sweeper. So Tamiyo Safekeeping is starting to feel a lot better now against things like Depopulate and the other more just like simple destroy sweepers. And of course, there's nothing you can really do against Farewell, which is a real thorn on my side. But 3 copies of Tamiyo Safekeeping in a deck that has very little removal, other than, really Brutal Cathar. And, of course, the -2 from the Wandering Emperor and Destroy Evil, but we'll get to that in a second. But the point is, the good one is Brutal Cathar, but then it just gets killed by something as simple as a Cutdown. So we want to, remove something with Brutal Cathar and hold up green mana for Tamiyo's Safekeeping. That's kind of the ideal scenario. But it's also just good for saving our important threats, like Adeline, like King Darien, etc. Then we've got 3 copies of Destroy Evil, because there's still loads of Selesnya enchantment decks. Like, I feel like they're the ones who've also benefited a lot from this banning. They're back in full force. I run into them a lot on the ladder. I've been tanking my rank for you guys, testing jank on the ladder. so you don't have to. I started off at 99% when I hit Mythic, and I think sitting down on like 94 or something like that. But getting a couple of sweet wins. I hope to prove that to you. But Destroy Evil, really good, because also there's still plenty of mono black people that have just taken out the Meathook. I mean, most of those decks were only really running 2 copies, and now they just put in like more removal. You know, another Soul Transfer and one more Infernal Grasp or something like that, and it's just as toxic as it was. You know, you're still getting invoked on turn 5 with a Shieldred on the battlefield. So this is to also deal with Shieldred as well as the enchantments. Then we've got, I feel like these 3 cards, Intrepid Adversary, Wedding Announcement, Wandering Emperor, are like, you know, really good. They're forming this core that it's doing its best to pick up the slack after Luminarch Aspirant rotated out, because there are ways of making your squad bigger. You know, you can, it's an Anthem effect, and then this one puts +1/+1 counters on things. So these 3, I feel like, should form the backbone of any sort of deck that you're trying to build like that, in my opinion. But again, we'll see how it performs, and I hope to prove that to you. So Intrepid Adversary, I mean, just nice as a turn 2 play if you've got nothing better. Can trade with the Graveyard Trespasser and many other things, and the lifelink is just amazing. And then if you get one later in the game, you know, these adversaries, I always say, so they're good on turn 2 just by themselves, then it's good on turn 4, it's good on turn 6. It's sort of like this great curve fillers. Then we got full playset of Resolute Reinforcements. Flash makes 2 bodies with 2 power amongst them, which isn't terrible, because if you've got Gala Greeters in play, then you get double triggers on the Alliance, make a treasure token, maybe gain some life, or grow your Gala Greeters during the opponent's turn, then you untap with that extra treasure token, so you can play something bigger the following turn. It's been really good, and it's in a lot of these tokens decks that I've brewed up over the last couple of days. I've been really enjoying playing it, or even just flashing it in and blocking it, you know, something that, you know, they were pretty sure that they would kill you with that turn, and then you can just defend on the last minute. Really, really nice. Then a full playset of Gala Greeters for some life gain, for some ramp. Amazing card. You guys have all seen it. It's been around for a little while now. Definitely very, very strong card, and synergizes very well with this token strategy, of course, because there'll be turns when you're making like 2 or 3 tokens and you can trigger this thing every single turn. Amaze balls. Then, as I said earlier in the introduction, we've got Tamiyo Safekeeping, and we're going to try to protect the Brutal Cathar. And, you know, because we got a lot of these cheap cards, we can often let it go to nighttime and then flash in the Resolute Reinforcements during the opponent's turn, or flash in the Wandering Emperor during the opponent's turn, and then when it comes back to your turn, you can play 2 cheap threats and flip it back to day, exile something else. You know the usual Brutal Cathar shenanigans. Then we've got a full playset of Wedding Announcement, which is also one of these cards that is now, I mean, it was already so good. It's even better now with the Meathook out of the way, because these little humans actually survive until you manage to flip it. And if you can get a couple of them going at once, it's obviously really, really phenomenal. Then 3 Adelines, still just one of the best 3-drops in the format. If you're trying to play any sort of white-based aggro deck, why wouldn't you be playing Adeline? And 3 copies of King Darien. This is my first time playing with the card on the channel. One of the new ones from Dominaria United. Legendary creature, Human Soldier. Lots of places that I'll show you the other decks. I've put this in Naya, I've put this in Humans, I've put it in Soldiers, I've put it in... It's all over the place. There's so many different things that it can work in. You know, you can either just put it in a tokens deck, because it you can sacrifice it and give all your tokens you control hexproof and indestructible until end of turn, which is obviously amazing. You can put it in a Humans tribal, Soldier tribal. There's lots of different homes for King Darien over here, and I've been really enjoying playing with it. And the Anthem effect is obviously fantastic, alongside the Wedding Announcement when it's flipped, and you get a King Darien on the board. Suddenly your little 1/1s from the Wedding Announcement and you know, your Soldier tokens and that are just getting huge. Then I put in a sneaky one of Mirror Box. I've been trying my best to put this into all sorts of different brews. You'll see over the next few days. I'm not quite there at breaking the card yet, but it's getting close. And the times when you do manage to get it on the board and you have like 2 Wandering Emperors and 2 Adelines out, it feels pretty spectacular. But it is very slow, and you do want to rather be playing something like a Wedding Announcement or an Adeline on turn 3. So that's why I've only gone with a sneaky 1 of, and then 3 Wandering Emperors because yowza, one of the best Planeswalkers in the format, and yeah, also makes tokens, so it kind of fits the whole theme. As far as the mana base goes, we've got 2 Eiganjos, 2 Boseijus, 2 Blossoming Sands, and 2 Thran Portals, then 4 Overgrown Farmlands, and some basics. That's the deck. Selesnya tokens, early version 1. Let's jump into some games. Meathook. Let's see if we can squeeze a few victories out of this one. It's been tough. It's been tough. You know, it'll take a few days for things to adapt. And you know, the question that I posed at the very beginning of the video, is the Meathook rotate being banned like really such a big change? I don't know. So far, I think I already have an answer to that question. Oof, also, Rafine, you know, Esper decks, still, they're soaring to the top of the meta right now. Yeah. Okay. I don't know if to get rid of this Wedding Announcement or play Resolute. Let's just pass the turn and see what happens. Gain a bit of life at first. Okay, no counter spells. Usually there's Make Disappears in this deck. If we draw a land, we can triple. Okay. Still nice to hold up a Tamiyo's now. Gonna corrupt the Bankbuster with 3 of these dudes. And block something, I'm assuming. Maybe he's just running Rafine's tower over here for a drag to the bottom, so you can get like 4, -4, -4. Underdog makes a token. And we just play King Darien and call it a day. Boom, boom, boom. Probably shouldn't have swung with the adversary. But whatevs. I'm okay if he blocks the adversary with the Bankbuster. That's cool. Let's wipe your whole board of things. Hold one back. Two back. Take 6. No. I thought not. I mean, that's pretty much all of his stuff gone. My only nightmare here would be depopulate. Oh wow. Yeah, we can exile something with Brutal Cathar and just swing again. Probably do the trick. Ooh. Okay, now this should win us the game now. We have to block the 7/7 and so you take 4 down to 2 life. We're on 32 thanks to the Garda Greeters. Ayo. He only gets 1 creature. Yeah, we're good. Yeah, this is the win. Skadoosh. Either or would have won the game. I think we just got maybe a little bit lucky that there wasn't a sweeper there, but that's definitely the type of game where at this point they would have had a Meathook. So nice. Oh, game 1 victory always feels fantastic. Kind of just want to make this into an episode of Brewing With. Because I've talked a lot about the problems that I've been having and then sort of what I've been trying to do to find solutions to it. So maybe this is just an episode of Brewing With Selesnya, guys. So second iteration. First I went tokens and I played it like this. And I've been doing things with the mana base, putting in the Thran portals. I initially had some slightly different choices as far as the creatures are concerned and whatnot. And this is what I ended up settling with for Selesnya tokens. But then, because of the mana being terrible, I was like, okay, well, maybe we can go tribal and play the Secluded Courtyard. Then we just play a bunch of creatures and finally get to play Ajani, which I haven't showcased on the channel at all either. So getting to play with a lot of new cards. At first King Darien and now Ajani. So this is Selesnya Humans, where lots of the same cards. We've got the Intrepid Adversary, we've got King Darien, we've got the Adeline, we've got the Brutal Cathar, and the Tamiyo Safekeeping, all from the previous deck. But now we've got Thalia and the Anointed Peacekeeper in here to sort of help us with the tax effects and stopping the opponent from casting certain spells that are going to sweep the board, depopulates and things like that. And the plan here is to go wide-ish, try and get at least 2 or 3 creatures down before on turn 4 you play Ajani, and then use Ajani's +1 to get some card advantage, until at which point you can do the -6, and then you just start casting creatures and you infect them. That's 1 win con, but of course we can also just rely on the Anthem effects from King Darien and Sigarda, and the Intrepid Adversary to grow all of our humans huge and win that way. We can also use Katilda, because these are all humans, we can tap our humans for mana and put +1/+1 counters on all of them. We don't have to play the tap gain life land because we've got 4 Secluded Courtyards, which I occasionally name angels because we do have the Sigarda champion in here, but everything else is a human. Of course, the Thalia is a bit of a problem taxing our Ajani, but it's a heavy removal magnet. Like, as soon as you play it, if they've got cut down, they'll get rid of it on turn 2. And at least you've kind of gained the tempo advantage, and then you don't get the tax effect anymore, and you can play Ajani on turn 3. Or, you know, something to that effect. It's been fine. And anyway, you can pay life and cast Ajani with the Phyrexian mana. So even though you've got the tax effect, you can still get it down on turn 4, even though it comes into play with only 2 loyalty, which is you kind of want to get this down with as much loyalty as you can. And then the minus 3 is really not terrible. Distribute 3 +1/+1 counters among target creatures you control. They gain vigilance until end of turn. That is amazing. Yeah. Just, you know, also got a bit of card advantage here via the Champion of Light. Didn't put in any of the mirror boxes in this one, even though we do have quite a nice collection of legendaries. And, you know, you can also play multiple Planeswalkers with the mirror box. I think we need to start looking at some sort of maybe Bant or Esper, I beg your pardon, or Abzan. I still want to make like a nice Planeswalker Super Friends deck with Ajani in the next few days, because I'm enjoying playing with it, even though it's not the strongest of Planeswalkers. And that's the deck. Still got some Destroy Evils to deal with Sheoldred, some Tamiyo Safekeepings to save our stuff, and Brutal Cathar for some removal. Let's jump into some games with this one and see how it performs. We'll just do like one game with each. Don't want to go too long because I got some more brewing to do. Naya is looking pretty spicy. I've been doing some Orzhov stuff with clerics. All of these like smaller creature builds that were struggling a lot with the Meathook Massacre, and it's been alright. That's okay. Not super strong curve out, but just draw one more land. We should be pretty happy. There we go. Okay. It's probably got play with fire. Whew. Okay. He's going to remove Katilda. That's okay. That's okay. I'll even let this damage go through. It's a warrior. Pretty cool. That's a synergy I missed. Peacekeeper for sure. Let's see what you got. Gain 5 life is pretty nice. Bye.
I still have much to learn.
He's also gaining a lot of life with this Selfless Samurai. Very nice brew you got going here, my friend. I quite enjoy the look of that. The menace. We play out a samurai, no? That's a spicy meatball. He's digging up something. Interesting. Probably Brutal Cathar the Raiju next turn. We got one block in. And this can be disturbed in. So far, no Ajani. Ajani now would actually be just freaking sweet. But I've got you. Didn't think so. Nice. Very nice. No sign of Ajani, so we'll play another match with this one. That's kind of the main card I want to showcase tonight on this particular brew, so one more match with this one. Hopefully we actually get to see a sign of Zeppelin Walker. Poor completed Ajani. Mushin. Okay. Okay, third land, nice. But it's black, which means cut down on my hopeful initiate, almost certain. Ooh! Okay. Okay, this is one of these, what's his face? The Goif decks, for sure. Stomper. Nice, that leaves us clear to play the Peacekeeper without any worries. And we can see what's up his sleeves. It'll be a while before we can play that Titan. I think we name Dig Up. one more land next turn for the... This thing has Death Touch. Come on, where's Ajani? Interesting. Doesn't have an extra land to play. Just randomly gain some life, I guess. Oh, let's go for the killing blow. Basically just mono white cards, you know, doing the thing. Yeah, like ultimately Peacekeeper, Thalia. Alright, but I can't go too late, but we didn't get to see Ajani. I do believe he's in this third version as well, so let's see if we can't get an Ajani on the battlefield. Otherwise, we'll tag on, if we haven't gone too late by the end of the next match, then we'll tag on another couple games with Ajani's humans. But that felt pretty nice. The last brew is King and Queen, featuring, okay, no Ajani. We got Queen Alenal of Ruedach. Interesting one again. Very nice. Again, definitely heavily on the tokens, this time making use of Queen Alenal. These uncommons from the set, the legendary uncommons, like, you know, the Tatty Over deck that I put up earlier, the Simic one, was also really cool. This is another really strong little uncommon here. Its power and toughness are each equal to the number of creatures you control. So if you go really wide, she gets really, really big. And then whenever, and this only, the cool thing about the second part of this text box, it's not one of those that say it triggers only once each turn. This happens as however many times you do this. So whenever one or more creature tokens would be created under your control, those tokens plus a 1/1 white soldier creature token are created instead. So, you know, double triggers on Wedding Announcement, double triggers on Adeline when she attacks, double triggers when you flash in a Resolute Reinforcements. You just like go really wide, really, really quickly. I love just attacking in with Adeline and her, and then you make another 2 more and she gets like 2 bigger and Adeline gets 2 bigger. It's just really quite potent. But it's definitely a very aggro plan here. We don't have any access to the, you know, bigger, you know, planeswalkers or anything after turn 3. So there's no flyers. There's definitely some holes in the strategy, but I do get to run, because there's no Thalia and things, a little bit more interaction. So a couple of Destroy Evils, 1 March, 2 Fateful Absence. I'm trying to put in a little bit more interaction than in the other decks. My main worry here is that Katilda isn't just that great, because there's not that as many humans as usual. I mean, sure, Wedding Festivity makes humans, but Queen Alenal makes soldiers, which are clearly humans. It's really frustrating that they aren't human soldiers. They're just soldiers. So, a little bit of a nombo there. Something that really kind of frustrated me, which is what led me to another brew, which I'm going to show a case in a few days, where instead we went soldiers and we put in the Soldier Lord and that sort of thing. Maybe that's actually the way to go here. Cut Katilda, because we don't really need the ramp. Get in Mr. Where is he? The Valiant Veteran, and cut the March of Otherworldly Light. Let's see how that runs, actually. And sneaky 2 of Mirror Box in this one, because getting double Queen is... Mwah. This time, it's not tribal, so we don't get to run the Courtyard, so I've gone with Thran Portal as a 4 of. Let's see if that doesn't come back and bite us in the ass. But we've got a fair bit of life gain through the Gala Greeters. Let's see how this one performs on the ladder. Undefeated so far. Pretty happy with this. Watch our luck will change now, but definitely something to this Selesnya. And if once we get the good mana, I think it's poised to be a really strong aggro deck, which is probably just going to be white stuff splashing green for interaction and things. And turn 3 Wedding Announcement, good. Orzhov so far. Probably the Esper though. And Tequila. Yeah, I get the feeling this is gonna be some Esper action. I'd rather you play out a threat. Yeah, it's Esper. Oh my god, here comes. Okay. I would rather he have played out Rafine than kill my guy. So we'll go with the wedding announcement. Thran Portal is so terrible. I mean, Painlands would have done similar thing, but this just gives you damage every turn. Oh god, this is a very strong deck. Oh god. Yeah. So that we can play this and hold up Tamiyos. Although there could be a counter spell coming our way. Maybe he tries to cut down a Garda Greeters or something. Thanks, Auto Tapper. That was exactly what we needed there. I needed to hold up Tamiyos, but no. Auto Tapper just screwed us royally. Probably should have swung there. Huh. No. Here comes the sweeper. No? Yeah, so he just draws off of the wedding announcement, which is pretty cool. Another make disappear? Nope. Bring in that Wandering Emperor. I'm ready for you.
I hope you're ready to lose.
Blanche. Down to 5. Make another token. Wedding announcement ticks up. Makes another token as well. Okay, no. +1.
We've got the edge this
And double attacks. For the card draw. I guess he's got the sweeper now, hey. Wouldn't be surprised. Maybe the Plaza would be great instead of Thran Portal. What a pathetic card. I cannot stand that card. Oh, Farewell is a real thorn in my side, man. It's just disgustingly good. There's Rafine. This one's over. We're screwed.
May your blade strike true.
There's really nothing that we could possibly get that will make us win this game, so... GG's, my friend. Hey, it was too much to ask for undefeated run, hey. So, this is probably the least strong of them all, even though I really like that queen. Starting to have second thoughts about the Thran portals. Absolutely trash. Maybe we can do something like this, because there's enough legendaries, kinda. Maybe I really don't know. Nah, this one is ready for the bin. So bye king and queen. We'll have to brew around that queen card some other day. But as I said, I want to tag on a couple more matches with the Ajani brew and see if we can't get some Ajanis on the board. How are we doing for time? All right, this is the final match of the night. So one extra bonus game with this one. I'll upload one of the two, whichever one I decided, but then I'll put both lists in the comments or in the description down below for you guys to go copy and enjoy. Sorcerer 235. Katilda. Yeah. Yeah, let's get rid of let's tax the augur and then get rid of the fight rigging with our destroy evil. Because augur is the real important card in this deck. He's got his own Tamiyos. Does not. However, now he's going to play out the big boy. And we are pretty sucker. Hello. Got a little lucky there. Good game. Whew. Hello! Very nicely navigated, climbing back up a little bit in the ranks as well. Very successful night. 1 loss in total on Mythic with all these various weird Selesnya brews. So I'm very, very stoked. So, jumping back into them with my final thoughts. The tokens list feels fantastic. Gets to play some really strong cards. And just having some issues with mana. So, we'll just have to wait until we get the Pain lands in Selesnya colors next set, and I think Selesnya aggro is going to be a real thing, so stay tuned for that. And as far as the human tribal one, didn't see a single copy of Ajani on the battlefield, unfortunately, but the Thalia, Peacekeeper, Intrepid Adversary, Adeline, just really, really powerful and nice that we get to use Secluded Courtyard to play all of our creatures without having too many tap lands in the deck. So, yeah, I think a successful experiment. We didn't really run into these like heavy, because in response to Meathook being gone, the people that like to play control have just started playing, the splashing a different color and putting in, depopulates and things, and I've been having a real hard time on unranked before this ban actually happened. But the initial question at the beginning of the video was, has it made such a big shift in the meta? And for now, I think people are still trying to suss that out. We will figure it out within the next sort of week or so, keeping our eyes on things like Untapped and checking out our matchups on the ladder and see how it performs. But I've got a few other sort of Bant humans, again, trying to solve the issue with the mana by splashing blue. Then we get to play the Secluded Courtyard and some interesting, blue cards in the deck. Boros tokens looking really, really nice as well. I've got a Naya tokens deck that is just popping off. When it pops off, it just pops off. And then I've made some attempts myself of playing some more control-y type of decks with sweepers that replace the Meathook Massacre, but you'll have to stay tuned for all of these over the next coming days and weeks. So that is going to be it for tonight's gameplay footage, guys. As always, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I will see you all tomorrow with another fresh brew. And until then, this is Lone Fox from the BrewLab, signing out. Peace, y'all.